So this video is going to be more of a serious video, and this week I'm going to talk about losing someone and like how to deal with it, or at least how I dealt with it, because last year I lost both my grandmas. Losing both of them in 1 year was really hard for me. They were both fine, and then all of a sudden they're no longer here. Me now, I lost them at the age of 18. Well, 18, and then my grandma died a few days after my birthday, so I was 19 for my other grandma. So I didn't know how to deal with losing someone, and I didn't know how to feel. My family's pretty close, my immediate family, so it was hard for me to lose someone and not really know how to deal with it. So I'm gonna kind of tell you guys what happened and like the difference between the two, because there was actually a big difference between losing my mom's mom, who was the first grandma I lost, and then my dad's mom, who was the second grandma I lost. So I'm going to tell you like what happened and then kind of how I dealt with it. So my mom's mom died in January 10th of 2013, and what happened was on her birthday, December 19th, she wasn't feeling good, so she thought she was just like sick with like the flu or something, or a cold. We brought her medicine and she took it. Well, on the 21st, I got woken up at like really early in the morning, and my dad woke me up and goes, "We're taking your grandma to the hospital, or we're meeting her there, and she doesn't feel good, so we're taking her to the hospital." So a couple hours later, I get a phone call. Grandma has to go into surgery. Her bowels pretty much exploded inside of her, which is why she wasn't feeling good. So they have to take her in, clean her out, and fix her all up, you know. That grandma had Huntington's disease, so she's just like all like, the only way to describe the way she acts or walked or stuff like that was like she was drunk. It's really funny to say that, but well, it's just how she acted. It's just what they do. She kind of just all crazy, pretty much. But like sane, but you know what I mean. After surgery, they're like, "Oh, it went fine. Everything's good. She'll be fine. Whatever." A week goes by. They still, since she had Huntington's disease, they had to keep her knocked out, so she was like not responsive or whatever. So every day my mom went to the hospital. Still nothing changed. Then she started getting worse. The infections weren't going away. So it was down to the decision to keep her alive and most likely end up in a nursing home, which was not a good choice for her, or let her go. So my family ended up choosing to let my grandma go. So they planned the day, whatever. So we knew it was coming. We knew we were letting her go. So the family came together. I spent a lot of time with my cousins during this time. I feel like they needed me as much as I needed them, and they're kind of like my brothers. So it was just time for family, and we just needed to be there for each other, because it's a big loss for someone to handle when they haven't really lost a lot of people. January 10th, we lost my grandma, and then that weekend we had a party because we didn't do a funeral. My family's not into the whole sorrow funeral thing, so we had a party to celebrate her life instead of going through the whole mourning process and just seeing her not there anymore. So during that party, my dad had the idea of getting everyone in the my aunt's necklaces for my grandma's ashes. So my dad wonder if I wanted one, so of course I wanted one. I ended up getting this necklace. This was the necklace I got for my grandma. It just stands for my grandma, my mom, and then me, 3 hearts. It was kind of easier for that death because I knew it was coming, but it was still hard for me. I still cried a lot, and I still think about her and just miss her. And it's just hard when you're close to someone and you lose them. And as you can tell, it's not easy to go through it. And you just kind of have to remember, like, she was happy, and this was the choice. If you believe in God, it was the choice that God had for her, and it was her time. And you just have to look up and know that she's now in a better place, not suffering and not worrying or dealing with anything. I also wear a Huntington's disease bracelet every day of my life. It says HD, a cause for tomorrow, in honor of my grandma. So my dad's mom, my Grandma Ferris. So my Grandma Ferris was completely unexpected. 5 days after my birthday this happened. Well, the week before my birthday, I was extremely sick. I couldn't even walk from my room to the kitchen, which was literally like 50 steps, without stopping. And it literally took me 2 hours to walk from my bedroom, which is right here, to my kitchen to get a drink, which is literally like right there. That first day that I was extremely sick, I needed tissues because my nose was just running. So I went over to my grandma's house. She was my next door neighbor. So I went over to her house to get tissues, and that was the last I talked to her before she passed away. So it was September 25th, and my parents had made a pot roast for dinner, so we had a lot of extra food. And when we have a lot of extra food, we used to take it over to my grandma's house so she could have a dinner and didn't have to cook. So a few days before that, she was fine. She was like, when I saw her, she was fine. She was healthy, and my other family had visited her on the weekend, and she was fine. Like, everyone's like, oh, she was fine, yeah. Well, the 25th, my dad was taking her over the food, and we got a phone call, and it was really funny because when I picked up the phone, I was giving the phone to my mom because I didn't know who was calling because I didn't know my grandma's number. So I chucked my mom the phone and it dropped. And it was kind of just, we were laughing. And then all of a sudden, my mom picks up the phone. And I couldn't understand who, I thought it was my grandma talking. I thought something had happened to my dad. I wasn't even thinking about something happening to my grandma. And my mom goes, oh my God, turns off the phone and sets the phone down and runs out of the house. I'm freaking out. I don't know what's going on. She didn't tell me what was going on. And I'm pacing my house, running back and forth. Not running, but like pacing, looking out the window to see what's going on. Nothing's happening. No phone. I'm not getting a phone call. I'm like, oh no. Felt like eternities later. My mom comes in the door and goes, Grandma's dead. And I didn't know what to do. And I just freaked out and ran out of my house. And ran as fast as I could. I didn't care. I was just running. And I was just gonna get there as fast as I could because I didn't believe it. I thought it was a lie. And I ran over there and I ran to her room. And I saw her lying there between her bed and her bedstand table. And my dad didn't want me to see that. So he pushed me out of the room and told me, I don't want you to see that. I don't want you to see her like that. And I just sat in her living room crying and crying and crying. And I look over, and not my grandma crocheted a lot. She was making my cousin Autumn a bathrobe. And when I saw that, it was half finished. I was like, because I knew my grandma wanted to make that for her. And because my grandma's just like that. She was always caring about others before herself. And I just remember the ambulance showing up and all the like police cars and everything, sitting on the porch just crying. And then one of the people came over and started rubbing my back, and I'm just like, don't touch me, like, you don't know what I've been through. I lost both my grandmas, and you don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I'm feeling. This is your job. You just take care of dead bodies. Like, get away from me. And I was just heartbroken, and it was hard seeing, like, I didn't see my other grandma when she died. I saw. And this one we weren't expecting. She was perfectly fine. She was fine, and all of a sudden she was gone. I didn't say bye. I didn't get to tell her I love you. I didn't get to say goodbye to my mom's mom either, because on her birthday she was sick and laid down before we left, and I didn't get to say goodbye or I love you. Well, that's that. Before she died. I'm sorry. So, for my dad's mom, we also got her cremated. We didn't have a celebration or anything. We just cleaned out her house, and that was about it. We did, some of my family did get necklaces again for this grandma, and I ended up getting another necklace. It's got the 3 hearts again for my grandma, my dad, and me. I wanted to keep the theme of the 3 hearts. I also got her necklace. It's just this gold one. It's like a locket. This was my grandma's necklace. When you lose someone, it's hard to deal with, and every day you think about what could I have done differently, or what could I have said to her or him, or whoever you lose. You always think about what if, or could you have prevented it, or all this different stuff, and it kind of eats you alive for a while, and you don't know how to handle it, and it's just hard. But over time, you kind of learn to cope with it and deal with it, and other stuff happens, and it pushes all those bad thoughts, negative memories of losing someone away. And for me, I had to find something that distracted me from losing someone, and my source of losing someone was, to be honest, the Macon boys, or whatever you want to call them. And when I found them, I had something to focus on again. I had something to get my mind off of losing someone and replaying their deaths in my head. And it's just easier to deal with someone when you have something else to focus on and people to talk to it about. You just need to let your emotions out and find something that makes you happy again. Because if you just sit there and mourn forever and just stay unhappy, it's not worth it. It takes time, and at the time you don't feel like it's ever gonna end, but it does. It does get better. You start to remember like who they were before they died, all the memories you shared with them, and it does stop hurting as hard as it did when it happened. Although the whole memory sticks with you, it's just you start to remember the best in them instead of them at their worst. It's hard, but it gets easier. I'm not saying it completely goes away. As you just seen, it's hard for me to talk about, but it gets better and it gets easier, and you just have to think about who they were with all the amazing memories you had with them. Put a smile on your face, because you know they would not want to see you cry. They would want you to stand proud and represent them. Just be the best you that you could be. And you have to remember that, because they aren't here to remind you that you are the best you that you can be. No one can ever take that away from you. So, on that note, if you lose someone, I will be here for you. I will be here to allow you to vent and to tell me what happened, because it's easier when you just let what you're feeling out. So if you lose someone or you're going through something, you're allowed to come talk to me, because I'm here to listen. We're all here to listen. If you need to vent to someone, just vent. It makes it easier, I promise you. So, I hope you liked this video. You got to see a little bit more into how I feel about losing someone and how I coped with it, as well as being here to help you guys. So, if you thought this video was helpful, or you liked me telling my story and what I've dealt with, give this a thumbs up. Comment down below if you've ever dealt with something like this or need help, because I'm here to help you. Make sure you subscribe for more helpful videos and just to see this face, hopefully not crying again. And I will see all you people in the next video. Bye, guys.
Just another night, and I'm staring